So Hitman Absolution feels like a mix between Max Payne 3, and you have the option to be stealthy, and a Dean Koontz novel, if any of you know who he is. So right off the bat, great graphics, great environment, great voice acting, great character development. In this game, you will encounter at least 4 people who you will just absolutely despise because of the way they're built up in their actions and even their like dialect and how they react to a situation. Like the one of the main bad guys is Dexter, who's a cowboy hat, with kind of little scarred on his face, and he'll just piss you off to no ends. Not just because of his actions, not just because of his dialect, but the way he is incorporated into every given situation and how he reacts to that. And I just thought that was phenomenal. And that goes for the rest of the graphics, voice acting, and the environment. And just real quickly, something to put into this review. It seemed like whenever something dramatic happened in the soundtrack to the game came on, it sounded like that horn or whatever it was from Inception. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is too familiar. But I just thought I'd include that little funny part. Now, as I mentioned before, this game feels like Max Payne 3, but with the option to be sneaky. And when I feel that way because you can go all out and just shoot your way through every mission, although it may be kind of hard at some places because there's a huge amount of people. But the option to just go all out, to be sneaky and not attract attention, or be sneaky and attack by, killing people but not calling attention to them, and all of that was very well welcomed. The different things you could do in each level, and also the way you played it as well. Now when I say that, I mean there was so many options that you could make on the fly, like whether to hide behind something, drop down on a ledge, just really anything to avoid detection. There was many possibilities. Not necessarily pathways is what I'm talking about, but more of the ability to not get detected, to do different things on the fly, like seconds before they happened. I enjoyed that very much. So the negatives are rather big and small, I guess depending on how your playstyle is, but I hated how you have to push a button to do everything, whether it's to pick up something or, which is to be expected, but it gets annoying after you realize you have to do this to climb, to, shimmy across ledges, to uh, I can't even describe it because there's so many instances in this game where you actually have to push a button to do something simple that shouldn't be required to push a button for. Now, as I mentioned before, you can go, all guns out and attack straight out, not even trying to be sneaky. However, when you do, it will take you a long and arduous time to actually master the controls for shooting because it is very loose, and you'll find yourself going to the ability which has you freeze time and slowly pick your targets. You'll be going to that more often because the controls are very loose, sort of like a dead zone in the analog stick, but it's not the controller's fault, it's the game's. Overall, the story, it feels like a cliched crime drama. Now, I said this felt like a Dean Koontz novel as well. I'm not trying to insult him. He makes good books. It's just the fact that this game feels so cliche and the typical crime drama that it was overdone to the point where it barely kept my interest, and because of that, I don't really think the replayability is there. I mean, I like this game, but it was just right over the line of, caring that I just barely finished it, let alone going back to do contracts, collectibles, and other trophies and such. So if you're the type who likes, the crime, drama type story and stealth, I'd definitely say buy this game. However, if you're not into cliche themes within the story and you're more of a shooting type gamer or something like Deus Ex, the latest game, I'd probably say avoid this game altogether.